Hello, I'm making a makeup video for the Jubilee competition for the shittest makeup. Basically, what I'm going to do is show you how to fuck up your face by covering it in colour. But the way I'm doing this, it's very special. It's inspired by Kat Von D, which I'll explain as I'm going on. So I'm going to start with foundation. I'm using my L'Oreal Infallible again. Now I don't own foundation that's the wrong colour for me. This, I don't know, it might suit me a bit more now that it's been sunny for a couple of days. I'm not really sure. But basically, so what I'm going to do to make it awful is I'm going to cover myself in it, not blend it very well, and ideally end up with a nice little jaw line. The jaw line. That's why it should probably be called that. So as you can see, I'm quite pink by nature. I don't know if you can see that actually. I don't know the quality of this camera. I got it years ago. So basically I'm covering myself in beige, and all the blending I'm going to do is essentially so that you're not going to end up seeing stripy lines. Now I could leave in the stripy lines and that would undoubtedly constitute shit makeup, but there's no point, because I'm going to cover myself in bronzer later anyway, which is going to look pretty ludicrous for me. I should say I was never really into makeup as a young'un. I never really was very good at it. I remember my mum had some makeup in one of those, like I don't know if it was mousse or a foam or what, but it was in one of those things that you push down on it and it comes out like a soap dispenser, only makeup. And I remember playing with this once, and I pushed it down and all the stuff came out, and I tried putting it on my face, but I only had a little face, so I had a lot left over. So I'd made my mum this painting and she'd put it on the wall. So what I did was, very subtly, and I'm sure nobody ever noticed, smeared this brown foundation all over the painting. I was a little shit, I really was. But the thing is, my mother's Irish. I don't know why she had foundation that was that dark anyway. I don't remember my mother looking ridiculous when I was little. I think she was always very beautiful. And she certainly looked like Sophia Loren in the 60s. She did. Mum, if you ever get to see this, you did. You're hot. So there's the foundation on. Right now I really just look a bit pale, which is probably how everyone looks when they've got foundation on. What I'm going to start with is I'm going to put some mascara primer on, eyelash primer. The reason for this is I'm going to be putting on a whole lot of mascara over the course of this video. So I actually have a little thing here so that I don't get out of shot, because I think I have a tendency to lean over to the camera a bit. So I've got this, it's just a little Youngblood palette of greys and blacks, which I'm not actually going to use this black this time for my... This is the black that I used when I did my 50s look, and I just used it as eyeliner on the top here. That was the black I used, which is my profile picture on Twitter and on my personal Facebook page, which is separate from my GTL Facebook page, because first rule of GTL, you don't talk about GTL with your mum necessarily. So now that I've got some eyelash primer on there, what that'll do is, hopefully, and I don't know what it's designed for, all I know is, you know, what I've seen, and therefore that's all I can assume it's for. It will make a fat old base for the mascara to sit on when I do the black mascara. So now I've got that on, the next thing I'm going to do, I think, is my concealer. I need concealer because it's getting on a bit. No, not because I'm getting on a bit, just because I've got bags under my eyes. I always have had, I don't really know why. I'm not very good with concealer, but luckily this is a shit makeup contest. So what I'll do is just pat it in really badly. Ideally make the bags under my eyes paler than the rest of my face. That would really defeat the point a lot, and therefore that's what I'm doing. I don't even know whether I've done that. Big spot on my chin as well. Let's just draw a whole bunch of attention to that. There we go. Now I look like my chin's sticking out. It's kind of highlighted. Actually, here's the thing somebody once told me. If you put it all down the middle of your nose, it makes your nose look long and straight or something. My nose is kind of long and straight already, so I don't really even know why they mentioned this to me. Actually, do you know what? It's made the tip of my nose look hexagonal. In the light that I'm sitting in, I look like the tip of my nose was constructed by cyberborgs. Cyberborgs. That's not a thing. Cyborg. Okay, now, I've done the concealer, and that's looking pretty bland. The next thing I'm going to do is the bronzer. Now, bronzer I'm not good with. I generally tend to try and catch this on a bit. I get freckles anyway, so if I don't wear bronzer, I don't really feel like I'm missing out, because by nature I don't tend to tan in those areas. I used to go so brown when I was little. Oh, I was like a little cocoa bean, I don't know, whatever. But I've got this Clinique Almost bronzer in light to medium, which is actually a very subtle colour, and I know some people in GTL use it. I don't mean to diss you whatsoever. The thing is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it very, very badly. So, now, I remember another thing I was told. You should never listen to anyone when you're a teenager, especially not other teenagers. They just talk shite. So what I was told was, you want to colour in all the dips. So, this is supposed to make me essentially look like a skull. You put shading in the hollows. What it actually does is just makes you look dirty. And if you are a skinny person, which I frankly am not, then it's going to make you look emaciated. And maybe that's what you're going for, but it's not really my bag. Now, a really bad thing to do with bronzer is just to put it everywhere. The problem with this bronzer, which is a good thing about this bronzer if you use it or if you're looking for bronzer, is it's kind of hard to get tons and tons and tons of it. It's pretty like solid in its wee patty. Although it's getting a bit powdery now, you can tell I've got a dry throat. I'm using my foundation brush as well for this, because I'm not very good at using it for foundation. Again, wow, I've got a really brown nose. Again, it's not about the equipment, it's about the workman. And I refuse to blame my tools. So that's the bronzer. Next thing. Actually, before blusher, I'm going to put some mascara on. Because as I said before, there's going to be a whole lot of this going on before the night is through. So I'll get back to my wee thingy, mirror. Start putting a load on. Now I'm not going to do this subtly. I'm not going to do it particularly skillfully. Every time I make these videos, I get it all over my face. Do you know what? I can't even deny that I get it all over my face every morning. I do. I just do. I'm not that, I don't have a lot of hand-eye coordination. I have fallen downstairs a lot. Probably fell on my head as a child a few times. And by a few times, I mean repeatedly. I used to play this game called Stair Tig. Now if ever there's a stupid game, it's Tig on stairs. And we had this set of stairs in my school. 4 rows of concrete steps, and you had to play Tig and try not to get caught. Tig on concrete stairs. Somebody like me. So I just got sent home repeatedly with massive eggs on my forehead because I would stumble, and the next thing coming at me is a concrete slab, because it's stair tig. So if you've got children and they ever mention stair tig, just don't. Just basically move schools, because there's somebody really sick there. It might be the sick person that gets hurt, you never know. If you're lucky and your child's brighter than me. Right, eyeliner. Now, this is where the Kat Von D inspiration comes in, you see. What Kat Von D sometimes does, if you've ever watched LA Ink or seen her, I think she's got a range for Sephora. I noticed that in the latest episode of LA Ink. I don't know how big that is, if it's, I mean, I don't know, we've got Sephora over here anyway, but we all know, don't we ladies, we all know about Sephora. Now what I've just realised, the reason I'm continuing to ramble, and I had no reason a minute ago when I was talking about stair tig, it's just the way I am, is that I've bought these MUA eyeliners and forgot to take the plastic off before I started talking. So what I have now is 2 eyeliners in solid plastic condoms, basically, that I just cannot. Right, okay, I give up. Kat Von D does her eyes different colours. Now I've seen her do one in black and one in bright electric blue. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head, probably because I've got bright blue in my hand. So this is an MUA Intense Colour eyeliner, and it's called Turquoise. So I'm going to put this really quite thickly all over this eye. Now I've got quite, I think I mentioned this before, I've got quite crepey eyes. So while I would love to show you a shit makeup technique, unfortunately I have to follow the Sally Hughes approved technique. Otherwise it just doesn't go on my eyes. And it's hard to show you shit makeup when you can't get it to stick to your face. So what I'm doing here, see there's this whole black and blue thing going on already. I'm going to right to the corners there. I've got funny shaped eyes, but I quite like them. They sort of come down in the middle, like hooded a little bit, but I like it. So now, if this Kat Von D, you have to imagine I've got tattoos all over my face. Maybe I should do some tattoos. I'll be stupid. So you've got this bright blue eyeliner, and because we're doing shit makeup, the next thing that I'm going to do is put a really not very good match of eyeshadow on. Now I'm guessing at this, if I accidentally pick an eyeshadow colour that looks really good with this, then hey, I'm a winner already. What I'm going to do is, I think I'll go with, I've got this sort of pinky bronzy, I don't know, I want to say frankincense even though I don't know what that is. I'm going to wear that because, as I understand it, and I completely agree, this is bloody good advice, on me, because I'm pale, English rose, you know, turn pink at the drop of a hat, pink eye makeup, I will look like I've got myxomatosis. So, what I'm going to do is deliberately make myself look like I've got myxomatosis. That's just going on actually a really subtle sort of white pink. That's disappointing. Maybe this nasty browny, mauvey, purpley thing. I don't know. Anyway, Kat Von D, her eyes look more blended, so the liner matches. And it doesn't look shit at all when she does it, I must admit. The girl's got skills. There you go. This is much less shit than I was anticipating. If you actually think this is really shit, then feel free. But, you know, I might actually leave the house like this. Not tonight, obviously. Not leaving the house tonight. So there you go. I'll come back to that in a minute. The other eye, however. The other eye. Now let me think of another story to tell while I try and get this plastic off. These pencils are really interesting because they come with a sharpener as the lid. Now I've had some quite posh ones that come like this, and it's brilliant. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I love them for it. I can't get it off. I've got this out. I wiggled it about a bit and it came out. I'm going to try using this thing I have. This is silver goose, I think it's called. Grey goose, I can't remember. Anyway, basically, I was on a night out with, amongst other people, Rhonda from Nola Boutique. We had some cocktails, and I nicked this at the end of the night. Because the thing is, I don't drink, so I can't be blamed for whatever happens after I've had. It was a much stronger cocktail than I expected it to be. You know, when you don't drink and you think, I'll just have one because it's a special occasion. You should be very careful with that. Right, so this is bright orange. What it's actually called is bright orange. Ah, you should name it. So I'm going to put this on as an eyeliner and see what happens. I suspect I'm going to look rather 80s. Oh, do you know what? I broke my pencil. I didn't break it, it broke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the sharpener in the lid. I can't do that and show you at the same time. To get some colour back. So there's some colour back. Let's get this thing started. I apologise if this video is like 4 hours long. I really don't know the passage of time. I'm sitting in my ensuite bathroom on the floor. Oh wow, I actually really like this too. What have you done to us? Sally Hughes has ruined me because I'm learning to appreciate shit makeup. There's something about the contrast of this. The contrast of the turquoise with the black was just lovely, and now it's the contrast of the orange. Even though I totally look diseased. A little bit clockwork orange. If I had false eyelashes, I would be clockwork oranging this bitch up. Now, the next thing is the eyeshadow for this eye. So once again, I want something that isn't actually going to look very good. Got my brush. I'm going to try a colour I've used a lot in this group actually, and a lot of you seem to like it. And I like it too, but I'm a coward, so I won't wear it very much. It's the turquoisey one that I got from my MUA palette. The MUA palette is the Dusk Till Dawn palette, and this is the pinky sort of one. I was trying to look rubbish, that didn't look very rubbish, so I tried this one on top, which again I don't think looks that bad. But I have no taste, so yeah, we'll have to see on that one. Wait for the lips though, man, the lips are going to blow your mind. So I'm just going to put that on there. This is really disappointing. I really like this again. Now, I would say, even though I've watched the tutorials, I'm really winging it with all forms of eye makeup. Eyeliner is okay, right? But that's pretty obvious because you've got your eye and you draw a line around it. So that's pretty simple. I feel a bit... Do you remember in the 90s there was a TV programme about... It was set in Australia, but some of the kids did American accents, not very well. And it was about like all the adults had died off, so all the kids were running the world. And therefore they'd all become mad punks and got coloured dreadlocks, drew stars on their faces and stuff. I feel a little bit like that. Just a little bit. Now we've got this other one here, it's very glittery blue. I'm going to put some of that on just to see what happens next. Creepy eyes, creepy eyes, creepy eyes. That's darkened it up a lot. I like it much less now. That's probably a good thing. I'm just going to keep pounding away at it there. It's like the eyeshadow equivalent of flicky eyes. Somebody needs to tell me when to stop. Now what I'm going to do is put on some more mascara. Because I need a fuck ton of the stuff, otherwise it's just not going to look bad enough. Wow, I can barely put this on because it's so cloggy and clarty from the last pile. And yeah, I don't mean layer, I mean pile. This orange eyeliner is just awful on me. By the way, all the stuff that I've bought just for this, if you want it, just let me know, because I'm not going to be using it again. Unless you either tell me to use it again, or dare me to use it again. Because self-conscious as I am, this is Brighton, and I could go out like this, and there would be people that wouldn't bat an eyelid, and they would be people that I would like, not purely for not batting an eyelid. They would be people who I would look at if I was dressed normally and say, that person's cool. Right, lips. I've got this lip liner that I've had for a very long time. It's a number 7 Perfect Lips Pencil in Nude. Now I suspect this may be one of these things that people recommend to each other on GTL because it is very basic. It's not an offensive colour in any way. You can get it to go quite dark, I think. No, not in this light. So what I'm going to do to make it special is I'm going to draw it on the skin outside my lips. I may actually play a bit with my Cupid's bow, or whatever that's called. Now, do you know when you put lip liner outside your lips, and it just feels really wrong? It feels kind of sticky and heavy and gross. Well, that's what I'm going for here. Sticky and heavy and gross. Sticky and heavy and gross, oh my. The next lipstick I have, once again, you may not actually hate it when it comes down to it. It's an MUA one. It's Lipstick Juicy shade 15. It's this, oh that's not the right one, this sort of corally colour. Now, for my lips recently, i.e. in this competition, I've been using